people. Remember, there's those terrible, terrible red sahags in here, and that's why I've been sort of avoiding this area. Last time we ran into them, they tranced our party good. Alright, this looks like an easy fight. We'll fight it out. Instead of running from everything, maybe I'll alternate. One fight will run away for fun, and the next fight will get a little bit of experience. I mean, if you're really trying to be safe, you want to have about 400 HP on everyone in your party, because if Chaos has nuke and it can the maximum it can do is 400 damage, you don't want people to get one shot by it in the middle of a boss fight. So far, I haven't seen anything terribly dangerous in the Water Shrine other than those red sahags. Not like I'm interested in grinding here, but... With eggs, we can actually grind in Temple of Fiends Revisited in the past now, if we want. Okay, oh, sorry for the god. I guess it's late. It's after midnight my time. You know what? We'll take a fight. Why not? I feel like, also, because I'm not really trying to speedrun it, I'm trying to showcase my cool sprites. So we should at least, fight some battles. See how the magic animations look for people. Unfortunately, I didn't have the ability to pick, like, spell-casting poses like they have in Final Fantasy IV. Usually they were more complicated and used more colors. So, for the most part, the spell animation, which they use for, I think, item magic as well as victory and casting spells, is just the victory pose, which is generally arms in the air, kind of doing the dance. I thought about trying to switch that out with a more... kind of like Kamehameha Blast. Like, the original Black Mage kind of has a blasty-looking spell animation for casting magic. And he uses the same one for victories, so that's kind of neat. But I didn't really like the way the Final Fantasy IV ones worked when I tried to uncolor them, down to 3 colors. Now, I am a huge fan of Edge's victory dance. That is, I believe, his dodge animation in Final Fantasy IV. I didn't go with the traditional arms in the air victory because I figured, Edge would probably do his cool bowing dance dodge. And that, he's just showing off, basically. That's how he casts magic, in fact, as well. Speaking of which... Yeah, that's pretty good. Break dances when he casts magic. Edge is definitely one of my top tier sprites as far as the ones I'm really proud of. I like Rydia's colors, but I like Edge's animations. I still think Rydia might need a little touch up on her sprite, but... Oh, I should show off all of the overworld sprites for these 4 characters too, because they'll be different again. One thing that is also quite nice if you're playing along, because of my lower encounter settings, like less random encounters, you have to run less, or you don't have to worry about your resources the same. So I have a lot of extra spell charges down here than maybe normal. Now, whenever you're facing off against the Kraken, you want to be a little careful here. It'd be a shame to get hit for, 8 hits and 1,000 damage. Alright, Kraken, go. So I'm thinking we mostly just try to burn her down, or... I don't know if Kraken's a him. I think it's supposed to be a him, right? In the remake, he's got a cool little cloak. Looks kind of male, anyway. At least we got all our attacks in first. Alright, and use this dark. How vanilla is that? Usually it has ink, which is the same thing, except a skill. And, that's good. I mean, we could use some lightning. It should be weak to lightning. It's a squid. Nukes are always better, but still. So it did do a pretty big hit on Rydia. I'm glad we gave her the opal bracelet and all that. But only 1 attack means no problemo. Alright. Before I leave town, somewhere where we can just look at the animations. So Cecil's walk animation, I think that's about right. It might it might bounce a little more than I wanted, and there's like one random pixel behind his head that looks off. But honestly, not too bad. We got Edge. This is probably the first time I've seen in-game my promoted sprites, so Edge just looks pretty good. I like that. I could tweak the colors a little bit, but honestly, that looks pretty solid to me. Well, no, I might have them backwards. I believe when you stop moving, you should have them in standing pose, and then when you're walking, you have them in running pose. So that, technically, I might have them backwards for that. Like, if you look at someone else. Oh, maybe I did it wrong for everybody. Well, that's kind of hilarious. Because when you're not moving, you should be on your standing pose rather than your running pose. Unfortunately, the grass doesn't work too well with Cecil's armor color. Might need to find some new colors for that. Usoya, yeah, maybe I did the same problem with everybody. Might have to re-look into that. You know, his isn't that bad. I was worried because this guy is like almost all beard and hair, that his animations would look terrible. But honestly, that's not too bad. There was no color available for his robe, so his robe is just black. But it doesn't seem to show too badly. Interesting, okay. And then, adult Rydia, how's she doing? She's looking a little skimpy on the clothes department. But that was kind of by design. Oh, my downwards is still... The down walk is still not quite lined up. You can see her face jiggling around there. So I still have some things to tweak a little bit. It's not quite finalized. Like, you can see some of these animations don't quite work. It's no big deal. I wanted to test them out a little bit before I, you know, wrap this seed up. Overall, they've been a huge success, I think. And I actually haven't seen anything wrong with the combat sprites yet, although the frames go pretty quick, so sometimes it's hard to see what's going on in combat. That's why we're not playing in super speed mode. Hey, it's our old favorite place, the volcano. So I don't think we'll have any serious danger this time around. We'll still take the lava tiles just to avoid encounters, but this should be pretty straightforward. If we can handle Sky Castle, Tiamat, and Kraken, this volcano's almost always the easiest. Even when I'm playing like a vanilla Final Fantasy 1 with no randomizer, I still almost always go to the Ice Cave first, and then get everything out of the last two dungeons, kill Tiamat and Kraken, and then come back to the volcano. So I'm used to skipping everything in this dungeon, because that's how I play normally. There's just not very many good items down here. Oh, don't these guys have something really bad, or maybe they just hit hard? You know what? We could get some free heals off. Assuming they don't, well, I should find an easier item to heal off of if I want to save the, if I'm trying to save, like, heal potions. But you can see Heal 3 is a pretty effective healing item, and if we could have bought them, that would have been pretty nice as well. Like, this is a really, I would say, a very high-tier spell item. It's, like, the best spell items are Nuke or Fade and Cure 4. Probably without a doubt, those are the best ones. But Heal 3 is definitely up there. Bruise, Saber, they're really good, some of the buffs. I might say Heal 3 is better than Fog or Invisibility. Unless... Depends on the kind of bosses you get at the end of the game, but... Yeah, Heal 3 is definitely pretty high up there. Probably our best item magic. I mean, Zap is cool, but it didn't work too well. One last chance to heal up for free, and conveniently, because it heals around 100 HP, 100 HP to everybody is definitely faster to do that than to go to the menu and use a bunch of heal potions. So if you're speedrunning, you'd be super stoked to have that item to heal up freely. Alright, everyone's in pretty good shape. Except for good old Cecil here. Tanking for the party. Alright, that should be more than enough. Alright, Carrie. Let's do this thing. I don't think Brack works terribly well. It might. I think what you want to use on her is the hold spell, actually. Or just kill her with Mazamune in one hit. Yep. Why bother even trying to heal up? It's pointless. Alright, and with that, time to go back to the Temple of Fiends. I guess we'll take the typical rest at Corneria, but I have lots of heal potions and stuff. I've got some. I still feel real bad about going to the final dungeon without stocking up, you know. Even if we're more than strong enough, I feel like having 99 heal potions is like, I don't know, it's just kind of mandatory. I've wiped in the water, wind, floor so many times by running out of heal potions when I was younger that going in there with less than 99 just seems foolish. And one last house for good measure. And traveling through time. Time to hack some time, guys. Did you know you can talk to the bats after you kill all the fiends? Doesn't matter. Alright, we're in the Sky Castle. I mean, we're back in time. Now, to be fair, this should go pretty smooth. It's a nice big fight, so I guess I'll take the free experience, but... Well, it's not exactly free, but... Because there's so many weak to fire wolves, I'll take that, I guess. And also, like I said, I want to show off my graphics one last time. Can't just run from everything, it's no fun. I don't think we've seen Cecil cast any magic yet. Hey look, it's not a, it's not a phantom. Man, those spells are so bad for low-level white magic. Yeah, a white mage would have been pretty poor on this seed. No, because a white mage would have learned Cure 4, and then they would have been pretty awesome. It's hard to say. Sure hope you picked up your loot. Oh, and I guess you have to... I say I'll take this fight as if I have a choice. Unrunnables. I suppose it's only appropriate that you get a couple unrunnables in the Temple of Fiends Revisited. It's supposed to be the hardest final dungeon of the game. If you can just run from everything, that'd be cheating. In fact, you know, I might even approve of a mostly unrunnable encounter set for this dungeon. Because I almost feel bad when you just run from every single battle in here and you get to chaos at full power because you ran from everything. I feel like that's kind of... Well... I mean, it's fair. Fair is fair, but... It was always, in the original game, the unrunnable encounters that really got you scared. Running into 4 purple worms that you couldn't run away from, or a bunch of wizard vampires, or any of those really tough encounters. I guess you can run from wizard vampires, but still. I don't think chimeras are too bad. Well, they got break. It shouldn't work through the ribbon, at least not very often. Maybe I didn't want to fight them because I knew they had a lot of HP or something. Slow is also prevented by the ribbons. Sure, if you didn't have a ribbon, I'm sure that would have been a pain, but for us, that's fine. You know what? I actually feel like I got the experience set pretty well here. Without any real grinding and only running some of the time. We're low 30s by the Temple of Fiends. This was an unrunnable in the original game. That was a terrible encounter to get on this floor. But yeah, I think I got my experience scaling actually. Like, it's generous, don't get me wrong, but it's nice, you know. We're not at level 50. We're not really super over-leveled or anything. But we're not under-leveled, and I didn't have to grind, so... Now, I would doubt that this Lich 2 is as difficult as it was in the original, because it probably doesn't have Nuke in slot 1. So, unlike, you know, original Final Fantasy 1 Lich 2, Lich 2 just to determine that this is the second Lich you fight, you know, you guys understand. What I want to start doing here is heal 3ing again. Anyway, because the spells are all randomized, it's very unlikely that you'll see Nuke in the final Fiend's first magic slot. They're still going to have, I believe, 2 nukes like in the pool, but you know, there's much less chance that they're at the first slot on the Lich. Maybe the Lich has 3 or 4 spells and nuke is second or third, and if you're lucky, you just kill it before it can do anything. So at least you have that chance now, rather than every single time. Hi, Lich, nukes everybody. Sure wish you had that heal 3 gauntlet now. That was always one of the things that really blew through the heal potion stockpile. And we can use a little bit of magic. Not like we're going to need any warps down here. I think, I'm trying to remember back when I used to play as a kid, the original game. I think I like to be at least level 30 before I took a run at Chaos. Just with a random party, without really thinking about the party much. I think now, as a more veteran player, I would probably consider going after Chaos in the mid-20s nowadays. It depends on the party composition. But if you know where the Mazmune is, I would expect mid-20s is not that bad. Assuming you have most of your key items that you need and stuff. That's a pretty juicy battle. We'll take this. I always kind of like the sea floor because lightning works so well here. And it's on its own spell slot, and you usually don't cast a lot of other spells. So it's nice to have a floor where you can just burn through your lightning charges and at least get some extra value out of them. Like, there's quite a few enemies weak to fire or lightning, so it's nice to run into them. There's very few enemies weak to ice. Like, it's one of those weird elements that does the most damage, but I think it's got by far the fewest actual, you know, bonus effect on. Unfortunately, most of the fire enemies resist ice, for whatever reason. So, water enemies weak to lightning, undead weak to fire generally. I guess robots weak to lightning. There's only a couple, but... I guess it's hard to say what enemy group would be weak to ice. Undressed humans? Monsters that are weak to ice. I don't know. If anything, it should probably be... well, not really water, I guess. Water units that are out of the water, sure. Alright, the Kraken. So I'm gonna play the Fog 2 game here. It won't protect us against crits, but if the Kraken has 10 hits, 10,000 damage, 4 Fog 2s should get us through. Assuming we go quick. So he opens up with a Zap. That's nice. Gives us a chance to get... what is it? Plus 12 absorb per casting, so everyone's got like 100 absorb now. Something like that. And let's punch her, see how much damage we can do. We don't really have a lot of buff spells. Invis is also good, but I've got 4 fasts. I'll use 1 here. Did not do very much damage with Mazmune on edge. Okay, never mind. Good old Cecil. That was pretty awesome. Basically one shot. We're not going to go to the Mazmune chest because, you know, it's kind of boring. Now, are rock ghouls weak to fire? I always thought one of the golems was weak to fire, but maybe it was the iron one that you never see. Probably is. But yeah, I mean, a level 35 fighter with a Mazmune should be able to cut these guys down. Now, you never know. Like I said, the enemy could get 50% bonus evasion and defense and HP, and that's why I like to be a little bit more cautious than maybe normal. I definitely play a more... I don't know what the word is. I'm not a very aggressive Let's Player or like speedrunner, randomized racer. I like to be confident that I can do this, and I don't like to push the limits. I feel real bad when I have to restart a dungeon, so You know, the fact that we pushed our luck getting the floater out of the volcano early, that was really uncomfortable. I would have rather spent some time to prepare so that it was easy than to run the risk of the RNG just murdering us. That's why we're going to use Fog 2, to make sure that Tiamat can't one-shot us. Mostly, I just don't want Rydia to die. And if I can get a couple fogs off before Tiamat attacks, then I feel pretty comfortable. Stun, and they're sticking with their dumb status effects. Alright. Alright, we attack, we cast... I don't think Invis will matter very much here. Oh, we could still try Brack. I guess that'll still have a chance to work. I will do one more fast. Fire 3. So we got ribbons. That's not so bad. 6 hits, 647 damage. Well, here goes. So that means Edge is not going to do any real amounts of damage. And we'll try a couple Bracks while we're getting our next attack out. Ooh, it's Elemental Tiamat. I like that. That's appropriate. No Bracks today on this one. I don't believe Tiamat 2 is particularly weak to statuses, even though they can work. No, that second attack was not as good as I was hoping. I would also like to see her attack us physically so I can see the Fog Staff do something. You know, she did have pretty good absorb. If we were fasted on a Mazimune Knight and hit like, what was that, 8 times for like less than 300 damage, I'm pretty sure she had more defense than usual. So that would have been a good call for getting some tempers or sabers applied onto our hero. We're not going to be using Lightning 3 on Chaos, so let's just get those out of the way. Alright guys, are you hyped up for our final boss of our sort of showcase randomizer? Hard to say this was not a difficult seed or anything. I definitely didn't want it to be a super grindy chore, and just kind of fun playing with the randomizer and the sprites. We are, at level 35, without a doubt, in a great position to kill Chaos. There should be no real danger here. I will still open up with a Fog 2. He could still have, like, Death Touch or something, which would make it dangerous. Even, like, any on-hit effects would be bad. He could also attack, like, a lot for a lot of damage. So getting the Fogs up at least. He could have Nuke. Thunder is a strong spell, but, as you can see, it doesn't even do that much damage. And, let's see, do I have any magic that's going to help? Not really. Because I have this Candy Dandy Heal 3 gauntlet that I held onto all this time, anything that's less than a nuke or a nuclear, we can just heal through. So that's good. I'm going to put a layer of invisibility on it in case he has something like Death Touch, where the only thing that helps is not getting hit. And we're going to fast our Knight. Chaos does have a base of 2,000 HP. So he could theoretically have 3,000 if he rolled max HP on this seed. Or, I don't know, 1333 or something like that, if it's rolled low. Now, Cecil did not do a ton of damage there. I didn't pay super close attention, but we might want to put some tempers on him. I'm just going to pay attention for one more turn and see what he does with fast. And we're going to invis up a little bit more. And, I should have bought Temper for Rydia. That would have been smart. Throw some damage in there. Alright, so he's liking his weak spells and abilities. Means the dangerous things like Nuke could come up any second. Okay, 11 hits for 300 damage is still not much. So I think it's safe to say that the boss got his own defense boost. So we want definitely to buff up our physical damage here. I'm really glad I picked that up on Edge. Yeah, that's actually really nice, because he's the only one that can do it right now. And I want, I guess, 3 or 4 layers of Invis for max dodge. And then I believe it's, what is it, +8 damage per attack or something when you get tempered. So you should see it start to add up as we get more tempers stacked up. Good, we got a just straight up evade. Yeah, 3 stacks of temper won't be too bad. And like Chaos has good defense, but it's not the highest I've ever seen, you know. We're certainly not hitting him as hard as you'd like, and a low-level party might struggle to kill him here. Now, he's not really hitting us very hard, but we can't seem to hit him much either, so. And one more layer of temper. And one more layer of invis. And just keep nuking. So far, he's mostly been a spell-casting Chaos from the looks of things. Oh, also didn't have very much HP. So good defense, not a lot of HP. See you later, Chaos. We didn't even finish buffing up Cecil. We'll never know how much damage we could have done. Oh, there, guys. That wasn't too bad. That didn't take me too much extra time. So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to have posted these for you guys. You'll have already figured it out by now. I'm thinking, if you're wondering what happened, what I probably did was took the whole run, which is, I'm assuming, maybe around 3 hours. And maybe I just split it into, like, 30-minute episodes, and maybe just released them all on one day, like, every half hour released a new episode. Because I don't really want to drag out one seed across, you know, a week or two of publishing. So, great, you've fulfilled your mission! Anyway, you can see some stats. I always like the fact they added these in there. Nice. Nothing here. 3 checks. Did you know that there actually are no empty chests in this game? I did not know that for a long, long time. At the beginning of the game, every single chest has an item in it. But a fair number of them are what are considered linked chests, which share the same variable. I'm not sure if it's a bug or by design, but once you pick out an item from one of the 2 chests, the other one is now empty. But they all start with an item, which is kind of an interesting little tidbit. So in the Marsh Cave, you've probably noticed a lot of empty chests. It's because you're opening them in a specific order that you always get the items on the top floor, for instance, before you see the empty chests below. I kind of assume it's a bug, but I don't really know. But yeah, if I did release these all, you know, if they're all 30, 60-minute episodes, bam, 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 hopefully that worked for you guys. You can let me know in the comments if that's annoying or good. I don't usually prefer to release gigantic 3-4 hour episodes because nobody ever finishes watching those. And it's harder to keep track of your place in the video, whereas if you just release half-hour vids, it's a lot easier to say, oh, I watched part 1 and 2, and I'll pick up on 3 after work or something. That's my thinking, so I try to accommodate where I can. Also, it makes me way more money, like at least 5 cents more money by doing it like that. But yeah, thanks guys. Hope you enjoyed. I will certainly be playing some more Final Fantasy Randomizer. I'm going to continue working on my little sprite pack. I have no real way to share it with people right now. So if you've left comments saying, yeah, let me download that, I want to install it. Maybe one day, but for now, you kind of have to do it yourself. I mean, I could share the bitmaps, but that would still not cut out even half the work, because you'd have to import them all and fix them all inside Final Fantasy Hackster. I assume there's a way to make an IPS patch that will do it, but I don't really know how to do stuff like that yet. So we'll see if I get real excited one day. And plus the packs, you know, I'm not done editing my sprites anyway, so. But yeah, I'm really happy with the randomizer. I think this is a great thing to play along with if you've never tried it out. And if you're really excited, give sprite editing a chance, because I'm actually quite impressed by how much detail you can put into these old NES sprites with a little bit of color, and I think it actually makes the game look considerably better just by adding some more color into battle. So, that's that. Alright folks, thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed the series. Oh yeah, I was saying I was going to play more of this. My plan, I don't know, it's not like a spoiler because it's not written in stone, but like, I am sort of planning on doing some randomized solo challenge runs. I've done a couple test ones and it certainly seems possible, if not slightly easier than the vanilla solo challenges. Some of them will be impossible, or practically impossible, but you know, a lot of times you'll get with the flags I like to use, a lot of the times you'll get some really powerful item early game that'll speed you through. Plus, you can get more experience per fight, and that saves out on an awful lot of grinding. Remember Solo Thief? Yeah, I remember Solo Thief in the vanilla game. Imagine doing that with like 5 times experience multiplier. That would help. Plus, thieves are a lot better in this game because they fixed a lot of their bugs. So, that helps. But then again, you can still have your tail in the Sky Castle, so you'd have to play through basically the whole game with with an unpromoted thief that the best weapon they can equip is still a dragon sword or whatever. That would still suck. But remember, because it's a randomizer, maybe you'll find the Mazmune and you'll just have an easy run. Easier than the original game, anyway. Oh well, I'm rambling. I'll talk to you guys later. I will always be talking at you guys. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. We're basically at the end of the song, and thus we are at the end of the game.